Tools for Talking, How to Listen with Empathy. Hi, I'm Mike Moskalo, and in this video we'll talk about how to listen to your partner with empathy in conversations in which you try to bridge divides on important and contentious issues. So this is what most political disputes look like. I assert something, a position, and you assert it back. I attack you and you defend. I interrupt you and you interrupt my interruption. I listen just long enough to plan how I'm going to attack you, and you do the same to me. Collaborative problem solving is different. We engage in two modes: active listening mode, empathic listening mode, understanding on the one hand, and asserting on the other, where you express your needs. Two different modes. And what we do is we take turns completing both modes. First I listen while you assert your interests, your needs, your beliefs, and I listen very closely. And then once my partner is done asserting, then I assert. I assert my interests and needs, and my partner listens. So let's start in this video simply by talking about empathic listening mode, the first of the two modes. And that involves three basic parts: empathic listening, asking questions, and showing your understanding of your partner's beliefs, interests, and needs. Let's start with empathic listening. So when we're engaged in empathic listening, your goal is to seek to understand your partner's needs. Talking at someone is easy, but listening is hard. Look at this woman. She's leaning forward. She's looking directly into her partner's eyes. She's expressing interest. She is listening very carefully. Imagine in a political conversation that someone did that to you. You would be really willing to speak more easily. Active listening, empathic listening is difficult because it calls on us to shut up. In empathic listening, we ask, we listen until the other person is finished expressing his or her concerns. Don't interrupt. Crawl into your partner's skin. This is the empathic part. Show that you understand and empathize with what he or she thinks and feels. And put your own issues aside. Yes, it's hard, especially if you're going to be attacked or anticipate being attacked. You don't have to agree with the other person to understand and care about what their perspective is. Next, as you're listening empathically, ask questions. Remember that your job is to seek a full understanding of your partner's needs, fears, concerns, and interests. Empathic listening is about the other person. It's not about you. So to do this, ask yourself, do I understand my partner's needs? Listening mode is not about you. It's about your partner. So put your own stuff aside, put your needs aside, put your positions aside. And because you're going to have the opportunity when it becomes asserting mode for you to express those. For now, it's all about your partner. It's all about showing your partner that you get him or her. Now, if you don't understand your partner, there's usually two ways of not understanding your partner. The first one is the one we're looking for. I'm interested in learning more. I'm curious. I don't understand what you're saying yet. I want to learn more. And the second one is, I can't believe anybody would possibly think like that. It's the first one we want, not the second one. It's curiosity. I'm curious. I need more information to figure out what it is that you're thinking, feeling, and wanting. I'm curious. I want to know more about how you think. Questions that express curiosity are these. Why do you want marijuana to be legalized? Not giving your own opinion about it. You're trying to figure out the other person's needs. You said that owning a gun is a way of life for you. What do you mean by that? Tell me more. Can't go wrong with tell me more. You said that you think that we need a systematic response to racial issues. What do you take to be the main issues with respect to race relations? These are questions that express curiosity. You say you're against socialized medicine. What does socialized medicine mean to you? Be curious. Keep asking until you feel that the gaps in your own understanding of the other person's needs have been filled. Don't ask questions that require the other person to justify their needs and feelings, because that's not curious. That's confrontational. Whenever you want the other person to justify their statement, then you still don't quite understand what the other person's needs are. You're not looking at it from the other person's point of view. You're looking at it from your own. And at that point, it's time to ask more questions. Third, very important, show your understanding. Once you've listened and asked questions and figured out what your partner's needs are, show that you understand. You are going to show what you understand what your partner's needs are, but who gets to decide whether you understand? Not you, it's your partner. Summarize your understanding. Shows that you genuinely understand what the other person is saying. It's hard to do. You have to listen very, very carefully. You have to hear, you have to remember, and then you have to state it back, everything, with understanding. This shows that your partner, that you hear her, and that you care about what she is saying. Don't simply say, I understand. Show your understanding. If I simply say, I understand, the other person has no necessary reason to believe that I understand. And in fact, you may not understand. Repeat back what your partner has said. Express empathy. Don't criticize. And ask your partner to correct you. And keep summarizing until your partner says, with feeling, yes, I think you understand me fully now. Summarizing statements and feelings. What you can say is, what you're saying is, my understanding of what you're feeling is, let's see if I have this right. What you're saying is, you're saying, ... Do I have that right? And to express empathy. Oh, that must have felt bad. That must have been awful. That's a terrible way to feel. It's so important to me for me to hear that. So that's listening mode. Empathic listening, asking questions, and summarizing. Thanks for listening.